Hello students, today I will be discussing the fifth chapter topic called International Financial Institutions of the subject International Finance, meant for finance group students of 6th semester BBA. Firstly, let us know something more about international financial institutions and see the introduction slide of the same. See, first of all, what is international financial institutions means? They are international financial organizations which have been established by more than one country or multiple countries. So we have got multiple countries coming together and forming a financial institution, and which will later be recognized as international financial institution. Their basic objective mainly is to ensure that there is economic stability in the world. Okay, in today's business scenario, the whole world is treated as the market, and these institutions see that there has to be economic stability throughout the world, which would be mutually benefiting all the countries in the world. In addition, they also work in as advisory capacity also by giving policy advices to nations that are facing some kind of economic crisis. See, there are various financial institutions. In this chapter, we will be exploring the role of four major organizations, namely International Monetary Fund, World Bank, International Development Association, and International Investment Guarantee Agency. Okay, so before going to International Monetary Fund, what are the various objectives for which international financial institutions come into existence formed by multiple countries? Why multiple countries form these institutions? We'll try to know their objectives. See, there are a list of objectives which are met by IFIs. Firstly, to facilitate the expansion and balanced growth of international trade. See, these IFI's main objective is to expand international trade. When you expand international trade between various countries, they contribute towards higher level of employments and real income. When there are international trade happening between various countries, it automatically generates high levels of employment. When there is high levels of employment, real income flows into an economy. So this is one of the main objectives of IFIs. Next, they also promote exchange stability. We tell exchange stability, when there is international trade happening, students, there will also be exchange of currencies of various countries. Okay, so therefore no country should be exploited by another country to to achieve that goal. Exchange stability is very important. So exchange stability, orderly exchange arrangements among members, if it has to happen, what are the methods that has to be followed in international trade will be set by IFIs. By doing so, they avoid competitive exchange depreciations. Okay, they see that whenever there is depreciation of one currency, it should not be exploited by another currency by promoting exchange stability methods. Okay, so that is also another objective. Next, thirdly, to assist in the establishment of multilateral system of payments in respect of current transactions, which also helps in elimination of foreign exchange restrictions which hamper the growth of world trade. See, whenever there are various foreign exchange restrictions, what happens is the world trade or international trade will be hampered. By liberalizing foreign exchange restrictions, international trade or world trade can happen in a very smooth manner, benefiting both the countries or different countries. Okay, so by liberalizing, the IFIs promote liberalizing or elimination of foreign exchange restrictions to see that there is good international trade. But by foregoing restrictions, they also set multilateral system of payments. Okay, they set standard multilateral system of payments which has to be applied or which has to be followed by all the countries, so that no country will be facing losses with regarding to international trade. Okay, so firstly, what is their objective is to see that there is in a growth of international trade, which helps in the higher levels of employment and real income. Secondly, they want to promote exchange stability. When there is exchange stability in currencies, no country will be exploited whenever there is depreciation of their currency. Okay, next, they see that multilateral systems of payments are followed by different countries which are there which are getting into international trade, and they also see that the foreign exchange restrictions will be eliminated to give way to free trade. When there is free trade, payments also has to be made in an justified manner. For that, multilateral systems of payments also is set by IFIs. Okay, then balance of payments of all countries should be in equilibrium. Okay, there should be a balanced balance of payment in all the economies of the countries, but sometimes there are so many countries where there is disequilibrium in the balance of payments. So IFIs will stretch their hands and help those countries to shorten the duration and lessen the degree of disequilibrium in the balance of payments of its member countries. Okay, they also promote international monetary cooperation through permanent institutions. Okay, international, whichever country is in need of money, such countries will be helped by another countries when there is international monetary cooperation. Okay, so this has to be promoted. This is also one of the objective of IFIs. So these are the main objectives for which international financial institutions come into existence. And as I told you, there are four important institutions which we will be covering in this chapter. And first one among them is International Monetary Fund, IMF. Okay, see what is IMF means. IMF is also it's an international monetary fund which commenced its financial operations on March 1st, 1947. The headquarters of IMF is in Washington, D.C., United States. Okay, if we want to know a little more about the origin of IMF means, this came into existence, as I told you, on its financial operation started on March 1st, 1947, but this organization came into official existence on December 27, 1945, when 29 countries signed its articles of agreement and agreed at a conference held in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, USA, from July 22, 1944. The IMF commenced financial operations on March 1st, 1947. Okay, so they came into an accord. IMF accord was signed actually in the year December 1945, with 29 countries signing that accord. Okay, at Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, USA, but it actually commenced its financial operations on 1st of 1947. Where is its headquarters, students? You can find that in Washington, D.C., United States. Okay, so little more about IMF if we have to know. This IMF has got member countries. They have got various member countries, and as I have mentioned here, it started with 29 countries, and today IMF is a 190 member strong organization. We can tell that 190 member countries means it is almost the world countries are the members of International Monetary Fund. Today, around 190 member countries are the members of IMF, and it also has got a staff drawn from 150 countries. Okay, so with this much strong organization, what are the objectives achieved by IMF, we will see in the following slides. See, this IMF, the member countries are the shareholders of the cooperative, providing the capital of IMF through quota subscriptions. Okay, who are the shareholders of this IMF means it is the member countries. And how do the IMF get its capital means through quota subscriptions. All these, what are these quota subscriptions, we will be knowing in our future slides or in future sessions. See, in return, the IMF provides its members. The IMF is getting capital through its shareholders through quota subscription, isn't it? In return, what does the IMF do to the members? In return, the IMF provides its members with macroeconomic policy advice, financing in times of balance of payments need, and giving technical assistance and training to improve national economic management of those countries. Okay, so IMF gives its members macroeconomic policy advisors, micro level advisors plus macro level advisors will be given by IMF to its member countries. It also will help those countries when they are facing the imbalance in balance of payments, and they also give technical assistance. They don't give only advice, but they also give technical assistance and training to improve the national economic management or national economy of its member countries. The IMF also works to increase global growth and economic stability. Even IMF, since it's an international monetary fund, it has got the same objective of IFIs. Okay, the main objective of IFIs is what, students? To increase global health or global economic stability. IMF also is an international monetary fund, so it also aims at increasing the global growth and economic stability of all the member countries of its. Okay, so IMF also tracks global economic trends. IMF is continuously tracking the global economic trends and performances of its member countries and other countries, alerts its member countries when it sees problems, provides a forum for policy discussion, and passes on know-how to governments on how to tackle economic difficulties. Okay, so IMF is always for global economic stability, global economic support, stretching global economic support for its member countries, whoever are in need. How does it do? Means it is in a continuous tracking of global economic trends and performances. When performances, it also alerts its member countries whenever it is going out of the track, what would be the consequences it has to face, and if it has to come out of the problems, it gives policy discussions, it gives policy advices to them, and it also passes on know-how to governments. Know-how means technical knowledge to governments on how to tackle economic difficulties. It also helps a country benefit from globalization. Okay, by avoiding potential downsides is an important task for the IMF. See, globalization has to bring global growth and economic growth in all the countries of the world. That is what globalization concept is. So whichever country is not making use of this globalization benefits, IMF will help them to draw the benefits of globalization and see that such countries will downsize their losses or downside their economic trend as their economic downfalls, and see that there is upliftment in their economy. Okay, see, the recent recession crisis has shown how interconnected countries are today in world economy. See, recent recession has shown us one country, the crisis started in US and it affected three-fourth of the, at least half of the countries of the globe. Okay, so that much interconnected countries are today. If one country faces losses, its consequences is faced by other countries too. Therefore, economic stability and global growth is very important, which is achieved by IFIs and IMF too. Okay. What are the major accomplishments of IMF? sustained a rapidly increasing volume of trade and investment. It has increased the trade and investment. It has displayed flexibility in adapting to changes in international commerce, allowed for a growing degree of international cooperation, increased international cooperation among member countries. It has adapted for all the technical changes, socio-economic changes, and it has also seen that that will be benefiting the member countries, and it has established a capacity to accommodate reforms and improvements. It is always towards the path of improvements, and it always see that new reforms will be brought in to bring freshness or to bring in increase in economy of various member countries of its. Okay, so therefore IMF is a very internationally renowned institution doing good service for the member countries. So more about IMF we will be learning in our next sessions. Thank you, students.